it, yeah. Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry it's been a while since we did a video, and it's been a long time since we teased this, and we're finally getting around to it. But I have been taking the time to actually shoot it and get used to it and be able to offer a better opinion on my part. So if you guys follow us on Instagram, or you're one of the crazy people that actually read the title of a video before you watch it, you already know what this is. We've got the FNS9. This particular one is the bitone version, the stainless slide and the black polymer frame. It comes with 3 magazines, 17 rounds. Thank you, FN. You have a second back strap. This is the one that actually comes on it. It has more of an arch to it, and the one I replaced it with is flat. I typically prefer a flat back strap, so I figured I would try this on it, and it is actually very comfortable with either one on there. And you get your typical spent case, the manual, and the lock that everybody puts in their junk drawer. Let's get this out of the way. And just look at the gun. Do a safety check. Gun is empty. Now the FNS9, that is FN's way of saying that it is the 9mm striker fired version. A lot of people are familiar with the FNP or the FNX, which are both hammer fired, and they finally made a striker fired version of it. I saw this, I think it was Hickok that did a video on it a year and a half ago, and that made me want it. And I had since shot an FNX 45, and that was one of the smoothest shooting guns I've ever fired. So I was excited when they had the FNS9 come out. It's also available in a 40, and they have a long slide version and a compact version. This one is a 4-inch barrel. You can get them either like this with a 2-tone finish. You can get it with a black slide and the black frame. You can also get them with night sights or with standard 3-dot. One thing to note about the sights, the rear sight has a deeper groove in there, which I will admit that this did throw me off a little bit, getting used to finding it lower in that groove. Once I got used to it, I actually started shooting this pretty well. This particular one also has a safety on it. You can get them without it. I would have preferred to get without the safety, and I also actually wanted to get the night sights, but these things have, at least around here, were near impossible to find. I could get the black ones without a safety all day long, but I didn't have anything that was bitone like this, and I just really like the bitone look of it. So you notice you have your both rear and front cocking serrations to make press checks, and they're pretty aggressive. They serve their purpose very well. And also, if you flip the gun over, it is completely ambidextrous. You have your slide release, your safety, and the mag release already on both sides. A lot of guns you can switch them over. This one's already on there. And these have a very good feel to them. I think that everything is right in the right spot. I have kind of small hands, at least finger-wise. Make fun of that all you want. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We happened to notice about 5 minutes beyond where I just left off that the camera shut off at some point. So I was talking about the controls and how they're in a really perfect location. They're perfectly sized, at least for my little dumbass hands. You'll notice it has a full 1913 style Picatinny rail for putting on your lights or lasers or whatever you want to on there. The breakdown of this pistol, this is where it gets a little hairy. You can get a little bit frustrated if you aren't used to taking it apart. You lock the slide back, pull the takedown lever, and you would think that you just release the slide, pull the trigger, and it comes off. Well, if you notice here, that's not lined up. So you have to line it up flush, then you pull the trigger, and it'll come off. Take out your recoil spring. It is a steel captured single flat recoil spring. That was a mouthful. And your barrel. Yep, tightly fitted barrel. The internals of the slide, you have your drop safety here. Notice that you don't really, there's no tooling marks, machining marks. Everything is very high quality made. The barrel is cold hammer forged, which will promote longevity. And when you're putting it back in, just in case you forget, it does say up for the part that goes up. Thank you for that, FN. The barrel back, recoil spring back. The frame, first thing you notice is the absolute robustness of your rails. That is much bigger than your typical. I've never seen any polymer frame gun that has this big of rails on them, especially for a 9mm. And these are actually removable if you need to change them for whatever reason, but if that breaks, you've got something a lot more serious going on. Put the gun back, lock it back, flip your takedown lever, you're back in business. So overall with this thing, I think it's really underrated. I'm enjoying it. It's very soft shooting. It's probably the softest shooting 9mm of this particular style, and has a 4-inch barrel and polymer framed. The only things that I would change with it are taking it apart, having to make sure that this is flush. I would prefer to have had one without the safety, but you can get them without a safety, so that's not that big of a deal. And also the trigger, we did not talk about yet. You see you have your take-up, your typical take-up. It's got a touch of grit to it, but it's not bad. I felt far worse. You hit your wall, and then it breaks. Your reset is right there. And there's no take-up after the reset. And what I would like to change about the trigger, you don't really feel a whole lot of force coming back on your finger. Not that that's a big deal, but that's just something I've gotten used to with a lot of other guns. You have a lot more pressure coming back at your finger, so you know that it's resetting. But other than that, I know the magazines are $40 to $44 a piece, which is unfortunate, but FN does give you 3 of them. I think I covered everything with that. This has probably been what we have called the cursed video. We've tried this several times, and there's always something wrong that happens that makes us stop, and we get frustrated. I get frustrated anyway. I don't know how Ryan feels about it. But finally got it done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Stay safe, stay armed, and stay free.